If I had an unlimited budget, I would only go in to, as far as the rookies go, to the hollows,
Hmm.
just because I think those are going to be the holy grails of long-term value, because there'll only be 99 of them. There,
Yeah.
there won't be 4,000 for S2, and who knows how many for S3. I mean, they could theoretically bump up the four Badgers, however high they want to
Good point.
for S3. But if you've got a LaMelo hollow from this season,
Hmm.
there's only going to be 99 of them ever. I'm sorry, if he's a generational talent, to have one of 99 legendary moments of a next Hall of Famer
Yeah.
could be some pretty special. So
Yeah. And on top of that, like what I was going to say was Top Shot is doing a better and better job at picking the moments and kind of ranking them accordingly, where the hollow is a better play. Because I believe that's his like 363, right? If I remember
yeah,
correctly.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's his pirouette.
That
Yeah,
I love that play. I personally think it's his best moment, like visually, by far. I think they're gonna do one for the underhand, like assist. I think that's probably gonna be the MGLE that we haven't seen. And I know like the cool cat put back dunk is like not bad. And I'm trying to think. He had like the one where he switches hands and stuff, but I think that turnaround three is just a cut above the rest. And like you said, if he is a generational player, like we're gonna see that highlight in every highlight reel of his, while the other ones are kind of hit and miss. And so I think as long as Top Shot continues to get better at picking moments and valuing them appropriately, like saying, hey, this is his best highlight, we have to make this accordingly rare. Because I mean, if you there are several examples of just terrible moments for players that are considered rare. And it's like why would I want that? Like, even if I love the player and it's a star, that moment, the only value it has is that not a lot of people have this moment, not necessarily that everyone wants this moment and can't have it, type of deal.
So along with the actual play quality being better moving forward, I also think the video quality is going to start getting better. I mean, you see them using, is it the 4D cam on the
Yeah.
court, like during timeouts. I think you might be able to incorporate some of that into the new batch of moments next season.
Yeah,
AR
that'd
and
be crazy.
VR. I mean,
Hmm.
I think in 5 to 10 years, when you look back at these S1s, especially the S1s, but the S1s and the S2s,
Yeah.
they're gonna look like what
Fossils.
like what we look like the 70s NBA moments, just with the
Yeah.
technological breakthroughs that we're gonna have. Which I don't know if that will increase or suppress their values just for being like a different type of moment or not. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you can't use
Yeah.
them in the metaverse, but you can use your S4s and S5s in the metaverse, would that make those new moments more valuable than
The
the
old
ones
one.
with less utility, even though they're the OG moments on the site?
Yeah, and I think that's just the interesting thing when it comes to especially Top Shot, but NFTs or Pokemon cards or basketball cards or any of this stuff is like this is all 100% like perceived value. There's no real value to an NBA like Top Shot moment. There's nothing, you can't eat it, you can't like use it to buy food or water or shelter or anything like that. And because of that, culture and like what culture values like really will determine its future utility and its future value. So people could either look back on it and be like disgusted with it and be like, oh, like that's so boring. Like, look at that moment. Like, it doesn't do anything. I can't step inside it and like stand underneath LeBron as he dunks over me. Or people look back and be like, oh my gosh, this is where it all started. I need one of these so I can truly appreciate this new type of moment. So kind of tying this all back in, is that another reason you think why you're kind of looking at S3 and more future, like more towards the future? Not just because there's a lot more like going on with S3, but like you're expecting each series to get better, which makes sense because they're still in
Yeah,
beta and they're improving this product. So it might make more sense to invest a little more heavily in the improved version.
yeah, they're going to be more visually stimulating. They're going to have more utility, hopefully. I guess the thought that I kept coming back to today was we're going to know what to do with them for Series 3. So let's say the first pack drop comes out and there's a bunch of mid-tier guys that get dropped and all these brand new users are selling them for $1 or $2. Well, we know that a lot of these moments are going to be used in challenges at some point during the season.
Yeah.
So if you stock up on 10 just Joe Schmo moments for $2 a piece, there's a decent shot at some point it will be used, and you can sell that $2 moment for 10 or 20 down the road.
Yeah.
Where you're not going to be able to get 5 to 10x on your money with S1s or S2s next series.
Makes sense. Yeah, because those will have settled.
Right.
So
unless they start putting them in challenges, which isn't out of the question.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, I'm you know me, I'm still waiting for that buzzer beater challenge. Like,
right.
if I'm gonna be holding those until it happens. So if they finally have a buzzer beater challenge in S4, I just pray to God the S2s are included. Yeah, I think
you know I'm going to be stacking the playoff teams, just 4th and 5th and 6th best players.
Yeah,
knowing that those guys are going to be used during the playoff challenges.
Yeah, and
right.
even today we just had the scoring challenge announced, and to watch Chris Middleton go from I think like $4 to 10 like that just because of his game the other night where he was going off in the fourth quarter. So people are like, oh, he's going to be one of the top scorers, and I want a chance to win a free playoff pack. Yeah, we'll be able to definitely see that coming a mile away. And I mean, even now, like you said, we're kind of able to do that. Especially like I would say in the team hold Discord, where a lot of us seem to be pretty sharp and kind of know what's coming and figure things out before it happens.
Yeah. And we'll know how to handle pack drops and people dumping moments right after pack drops. We'll know if someone goes off for 50 points, we know that moment is going to pump for overnight maybe, but then come back down.
Yeah.
Because you got guys that are trying to buy that moment thinking that it's going to go to the moon, right? But then you got guys on the other side that are waiting for something good to happen from this player so they can dump that moment off on the marketplace. So yeah, just all the lessons that we've learned from this season, as crazy and as hectic and disjointed as it's been, I think puts us in a good position for next year. And I don't want to have all my money tied up in stuff that I can't sell.
Or stuff that you don't want to sell because you're like, yeah, it wouldn't make sense for me to sell this right now. It'd be stupid.
Yeah.
So better to not buy it in the first place.
So I mean, that's just me. Like I get some of the other guys that like Dustin, for example, who likes his Lakers and wants to buy their moments and wants to hold on to them and doesn't really want to get in and buying and selling on a daily basis. Probably doesn't have time.
Probably not.
To be honest. And
he's got kids. Those things slow you down.
There's a lot. there's a lot of reasons why you can't be dedicated to the daily stock market portion of Top Shot. So
yeah, on the flip side, you got the big ticket in our Discord group who's like constantly buying and flipping and has like really turned it into an art form, in my opinion. It's incredible.
Yeah. Those $2 moments into $3 and $4 moments. I mean,
yeah. Well, I just can't wait till Top Shot gives us the opportunity to like mass list. You check a bunch of moments and you say, I want to sell. And it's like, what do you want to sell them? And you just put a set price for all of them. Once stuff like that happens, I feel like I'll be more incentivized to jump into the like buying and flipping stuff, just even for fun. Because it is a bit of a chore to constantly like list stuff and delist it and all that. So
yeah. I kind of do it as a punishment. Like I mentioned that in Discord. Like I jump on Live Token as a punishment sometimes when I just make a boneheaded move. Yeah. Where I bought a playoff moment in a challenge and didn't even realize it. And it wasn't that much. I mean, it was like, I don't know, an $8 haircut or whatever.
Yeah.
So I just jumped into Live Token for an hour and I tried to buy up all those $2 moments so I could flip them to $3 just to pay off that $8 again. Just
smart. Yeah. I mean, that's
so I won't do that again. Right. So I won't buy a challenge moment in a challenge if I'm not going to use again, because I know I'll put myself in life token timeout for an hour after that. So
nice. So right now we're going to have this off season. We think there's going to be a pretty significant dip. I think most of us agree on that. And Series 3 is a ways off. So what's your plan kind of in limbo? Like, I know what your long-term plan is, like waiting for Series 3 and making sure you're liquid then, but are you going to be trying to scoop up some things that you think are crazy deals and then maybe flip on the upturn just before Series 3 or at the start of Series 3? Or are you really trying to consolidate and be like, nope, I'm not going to get tempted. Maybe I'll participate in a challenge or two or something like that. But for the most part, I want to remain liquid.
Yeah, it's a good question. I definitely want to get off some of my moments because I have, I don't know, 450 moments right now.
Okay.
So I want to get off some of them before the beginning of Series 3. And they're a bunch of $2, $3, $4 moments. A lot of them I don't mind because they're the 40Ks of Embiid and Tatum and Brandon Ingram, Jamal Murray, like some of those guys that you can still get for $3, $4, which is crazy. Jokic is a $5 moment right now. Yeah, I don't know if I'll get off all of those because I could still see some room for growth for those just being not Series 1, but an original set that will have some value during Series 3. I don't see those 4th, 5th, 6th best guys on each team. I don't see a reason to be holding on to those moments. Yeah, I mean, I have a couple of my S1s that I will hold on to, and I might get 1 or 2 more once I sell off all the junk.
Mm-hmm.
We know that there's going to be at least one more small pump when the collector score is required for the legendary drop.
Correct. And theoretically, there'll be 2 more pumps coming up with the finals pack and the run it back pack. However, those pumps will probably happen after a major drop off.
Yeah, which is right now. I mean, now is the major drop off before the rare pump. So yeah, so I bought quite a few $2 moments last night.
Sure.
And I'll be selling those off once everyone needs their $6 Charlotte Hornets again.
Yeah.
I'll be selling my Terry Rozier and Miles Bridges and Caleb Martins and all those guys for 3x again. I mean, there's ways, even in this terrible market, there's still ways to make money if you're disciplined.
Yeah.
And I know that making money isn't the end all be all for all the people that are going to be watching this, but
yeah,
in my world, I want to make as much dapper as I can without having to put it on the credit card.
Yeah, well, exactly. I think that's the thing to remember is like people who will be like, oh, why are you doing that? Like you're a rent seeker or whatever garbage they want to say. It's like, no, like I'm grinding or trying to make money so I can actually buy the moments I want and not have to spend my actual money. I'm all about fake business, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've deposited a couple times and with a wife and kids, it gets harder each time.
As someone who doesn't have a wife or kids, depositing is still not a great feeling. Right. I can tell you that.
I'd rather make it on the marketplace.
Well, and plus there's something really fun about doing it too. Like
you get
using your intuition. Yeah. It's great.
Yeah, it totally bummed me out when I picked I got 4 or 5 these stupid playoff moments. The Bryn Forbes, like I knew that he was going to get reused for this round, and sure enough, they did. And as soon as they announced it, his moments started dipping. So
that hurts.
I need to learn that lesson.
If it makes
I need to learn that lesson with these challenges that you got to start selling them before the challenge even starts.
Yeah, I scooped 3 Trae Young round 2 assists, and I scooped them at like around 55-ish because I was like, oh yeah, I nailed this. Like they were at 65 and they went down. I was patient, I waited, and then just like down to 40 now. I'm just like, how? Like what did I do wrong?
I know.
But it is what it is. And like you said, these are lessons that I feel like literally every day that I do anything on Top Shot, like I am learning and just like becoming a lot more like savvy on like how things work.
You really have to ask yourself, like, and I do this all the time, is if I have a specific thought or a plan of attack, I ask myself, who else is doing this?
Yeah.
Because if the answer is everybody, then you need to find something else to do to counteract that. Like if I'm following the herd, like if I bought those Bryn Forbes moments to sell once the challenge started, I'm not the only one that thought of this idea, and that's why it went down once the challenge got announced.
Yeah, and
Because
it's so funny too, because like in your head you're like, oh my gosh, like I am a genius, like I'm way ahead of the curve here. Like no one's even thinking about challenges that'll happen like a week from now.
And I'm on Top Shot Explorer, like seeing like what new moments are coming, and so they won't be reused, but this one didn't get a new second round moment, so he'll get reused. Like I had my list of those 6 guys that didn't get reused for the second round, and they all tanked. So like all that research, just like, I don't know, that's frustrating. I guess the only saving grace is the entire playoff. Any playoff moment tanked, not just the ones that I picked. So
yeah,
I don't know.
No, I feel that. No, I think for me at least, like I kind of playing off that, like have caught myself many times, like being like, okay, Michael, you need to do the exact opposite of what you want to do. So when the hollow drop like was coming up and they announced the collector score and stuff and the team bonus and all this, and everyone just started buying, I immediately was like, oh my gosh, like I gotta like get a team and all this stuff. And I start going at it and I stop myself and I'm like, wait a minute, what's my collector score? Like how hard would it be for me to get up to this point? Like, is it worth even the time? Blah, blah, blah. And I was actually talking to Mike a little bit about it. And he was like, hey, like if you need to like borrow some moments, let me know. Cause like he qualifies for the Cool Cats thing. And I was like, honestly, like I kind of jumped into the hype, but now that I'm thinking about it, I'm going to start selling because everyone's buying right now. And I need to do the opposite of what I want to do because that's what everyone else wants to do.
Right. With my poker background, I'm very, very keen to that. You always want to balance. Like if people are being, I don't know, do you play poker at all?
I've played a decent amount.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're at a table full of aggressive people, you just want to be the opposite. You want to be passive. You just want to play the best hands, right?
Yeah.
If you're at a very passive table, then you want to be the aggressor. Like you have to balance out. You have to be the yin to the yang. And just like you said, where everyone is trying to buy up, that's a perfect selling opportunity.
Yeah.
Because things don't go up indefinitely. We just learned that a couple months ago.
And we will learn it again and again until we really know it.
Right. So if everyone's scrambling to buy stuff, that is the perfect time to sell because inevitably it will come back down, and that will be your buying opportunity is when people are starting to sell off, which is why I decided to start buying again those 4 moments that can't go down past $2 or $3 or whatever. I'm minimizing that risk, but then I'm also taking the buying opportunity now that everyone's coming down off of that collector score. You got to know, and that's a lesson that we all have to learn, right? Is to buy when everyone's selling and to sell when everyone's buying.
Yeah, and just to
unless we don't know where the bottom is, that's
also true. That's the beauty of it hitting $1 is it can't go lower. So very early on, but when I was super super early into Top Shot, my methodology was like, I've watched some videos of people like before, like way before when I was trying to figure out what it was. I was seeing these videos of people who are using Top Shot super early before it was anything. And I was noticing like all these $1 moments. And I was like, just wait till they're $1 again. And then worst case scenario, like my money just stays at where it is because it can't go lower than that. But I mean, obviously we haven't hit $1 and we probably won't ever because there are people just waiting for things to hit $1 or even $2 and they'll just immediately scoop it up. Like they're not going to allow that opportunity to come.
Yeah, that's exactly how I made my first couple $100 on the site. I was around when there were $1 moments still on the site. at the very end, and they weren't good players. They were bad players. But I mean, even the first week on the site, I'm like, they're not going to go down.
Yeah.
They can't go to 0, and they haven't gone to the quarters yet. So
Yeah.
worst case scenario is a couple weeks from now, I sell it back at $1 and I lose that 5 cents in commission. Like that's worst case scenario. But all I need is for it to go up $1 to double my money. So my $200 investment now becomes $400. But yeah, I mean, those are lessons that we all have to learn. And I think all of us have learned them, and it'll be lessons that all the new people will learn. It's going to be a whirlwind for all those new people, you know, putting in $200 and not knowing what an NFT is, and
it'll be
an experience
wild ride.
Sure. Yeah. If we thought this year was wild, think about, you know, if we actually get some good marketing and a new population.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be like the season all over again.
Yeah.
Hopefully with a better ending.
Yes. Yeah. I'm all for that. It is kind of wild seeing people like now and like the last dip we had where people are just like straight up just depressed about it. And it's just like, it's like, guys, like they're supposed to be fun. Like, please don't gamble your kids' college on this thing. Like, let's keep it somewhat light.
Like I've had my moments, and I've thought like how is this project even surviving? Like, if the NBA wasn't backing this project, would it still be surviving? Who knows? I don't.
Yeah, I would have.
I've seen a lot of NFT projects go to 0 because they don't have any backing and poor execution. But that is what makes me ultimately faithful in this project long term, is because the NBA is going to keep this thing going. And I don't know how long of a license Top Shot has. I don't think they have announced that, but I can't imagine it's going to be expiring anytime soon. So
I don't think so.
And if they do a good job, they'll extend those licenses into infinity. So
that's kind of my reasoning behind it. One, Dapper is not this brand new company. Like, they've had other projects that have been successful. Like, this is not their first rodeo. This is not their first time using blockchain technology. Two, the NBA, they're very social media like savvy, like from the players to the team to the organization. They are very ahead of the curve. They're always looking for new things, and they do support like players and like things that they believe in pretty heavily. And then also on top of that, the massive investment that they got from like NBA players and like that whole investment group. So it's like between those three things, like NBA Top Shot's not going anywhere. And you look at anything that's trying to compete with Top Shot, and it's light years behind. So I don't think the NBA is going to be like, well, we know you just got out of beta, but we're done with the licensing and we're going to try and figure this out somewhere else. Like, the NBA they're already all in, and it would be foolish of them for them to not be. And so because of that, I'm like, yeah, I believe in this long term, because it's kind of too big to fail at this point. User base wise, the company, the personnel on the company, the fact that it's officially tied to the NBA, and that they've got this massive investment push recently. I don't see it completely going to 0.
Right.